I'm very happy to be here with all you guys. Thank you for coming to my panel. I'll introduce myself. For those of you who don't know, I'm a professional voiceover actor. I also produce and direct video games. Some of my roles include Homura, Kemi, and Madoka Magica. I'm Sailor Mars in the new dub of Sailor Moon. I played a magical girl called Nanoha Takamachi in Magical Girl Lyrical Nanoha. And many other roles. I'm in Tales of Exilia, Skullgirls, BlazBlue, many games. Do you guys know Shantae? Yeah! Alright, great, yeah. I'm Shantae in the game that just came out. So I hope you guys will play that one too. So I'm here to answer any questions that you guys might have. Yeah, my heart's still pounding. Yeah, alright, we have a question. Yes. Who do I play in Tales of Exilia too? I play Nova. Who I hear is kind of like the secret main character because she pops up every 2 minutes to ask for money. Yeah, so that's who I am in that game. So there's some seats in the front here. I don't know if you want that seat though. There's something weird going on with that seat. It's like, there's like a stain, a really big stain. It's kind of gross. But yeah, we have a couple of seats open for those of you who want to sit down. Yay, Nebraska! What is there to do in Nebraska? Like, what do you guys do for fun? Nebraska? This is it. Yes.
So besides, like, if you did voice Homura, who would be your favorite magical girl?
My favorite magical girl? My favorite magical girl of all time, and this was before, this is not biased because this has always been my answer, has always been Sailor Venus. I love her. I'm not really sure why. I think she's just very like aesthetically pleasing, you know, with like long blonde hair and all the orange. Yeah, she's pretty cool. Who else? Who else is there that I like? How about what was her name? Dokuro-chan?
Yes.
She was pretty cool and bloody. Yeah. Those are my favorites. Any other questions? Wow, there's so many people here. Yes.
What got you into voiceover acting?
What got me into voiceover acting? Okay, again, this is not, I'm not like trying to pump out Sailor Moon, but this is the truth. I was watching Sailor Moon when I was about 12 years old, and I'd always seen it in like the English version, but then something came out called the internet, and there were like QuickTime movie files that you can download from the internet, and I downloaded one, and I realized that it was the same animation, but with a Japanese voiceover, so that's when it kind of clicked to me that she wasn't, it's kind of weird, but she wasn't a real person, there was somebody voicing her, if that makes sense? Like when you're a kid, like these things like hit you, and that's when I decided I wanted to be a voiceover actor. So, flash forward about 15 years later, and I'm in that same show. It's pretty incredible. And from then on, I just kind of started putting myself out there really, because I knew that's what I want to do. I either want to be an animator or a voice actor, so I knew that's, you just kind of have a feeling in your gut when you know you're supposed to do something. So I just started putting myself out there. I did like fan dubs online. I started posting my stuff to YouTube, and I went to Anime Expo. I think I was 16 years old, and I auditioned for Make Zoom, and they said, yeah, we really like you, why don't you come audition for our other shows? And so that's how I got my first foots in the door for voice acting. Thank you. Excuse me. Yes. Hi.
Being someone who watched the original version of Sailor Moon and knew that it had such like a nostalgic fan base,
yes,
huge love for it, was it intimidating to be the new Rey?
I feel, oh my gosh, was it intimidating? I think it was. It was very intimidating, but it's been so well received, you know what I mean? And I really feel like it's a completely different version than that one, and it's completely different from the Japanese too, so it's something new, so I don't feel so pressured anymore. And I never thought that my voice suited Rey. Like I never thought, I always thought, oh, I'm gonna be Sailor Venus, awesome! And then I got cast as Rey, and then people kept telling me like, oh my gosh, you sound just like the Japanese, you sound just like Katie Griffith, I think is her name, the original one. Wow, really? And when I finally got the to watch it on Hulu, I was like, wow, I do sound kind of exactly exactly like her. It's pretty amazing. So yeah, so it's been really quite a journey, and we're still going. I just died in the show, and that was pretty exciting. For the first time, I should say. I died for the first time. So yeah, and actually, I've been signing DVDs, even though it's not out until the 11th. People have brought them over already. I guess they're already shipped, and they're selling them at the dealer's hall or something. So pick one up. I want to sign them all. Yeah, yes. I really feel like it depends on the character. Anime is really awesome because you get to see what you're actually voicing, if that makes sense. Where in video games, you just read down from like an Excel sheet and you put the pieces together in your mind. I love it both. Anime is definitely probably the most challenging acting you can do because you have to match the lip flaps and match the music and everything. But I love them both. Really, sometimes I've had an amazing time working on anime. Sometimes it's been very hard. Same thing with video games. Some characters are just like so easy and so fun and free, and other times it's very difficult. So I think it really just depends on the character. Thanks. Any other questions? Yes.
Did you like contact your girlfriend and all of
I didn't get pointers from the original Ray, but I did send her a tweet. I said, hey, I love you. I told her that she's an inspiration to me growing up, and she's really happy about that. And I've actually hung out with Linda Valentine and Toby Proctor and all those guys before I was cast in it. And so I saw them at AX, and they're just really happy for me. And you know, we knew each other at that point, and they were just like, that's so great, I'm so happy for you. And it was kind of like a passing of the torch. They're just like, just enjoy it, have fun. Like, thank you so much. And that was really like, I was a little nervous, you know, like how are they going to feel? Like, are they going to be mad at me? But no, they were really sweet, as always, and they're just really great people. Thank you. Yes?
If you were a magical girl, what would your color be and what would your weapon?
Oh, if I were like my own magical girl, Cristina. Oh my gosh. My color would still be purple because I've been told I'm purple. You know what I mean? That's kind of a weird thing to say. But if you look at all my characters too, they are purple. Just like go back and look at them. They have purple eyes and purple dress and hair. Anyways, so I would still be purple. I don't know what my power would be, but it would probably involve corgis. So it might be like a corgi patronum or something. I think that's what my power would be. I have a corgi, guys. I wish I could have brought her to this convention, but she's in Big Bear right now, enjoying Halloween weekend with my boyfriend. They're bonding. They needed that time together. All right, yes?
How does it feel to portray such an iconic character in Sailor Mars going? You got the 90s version and then the Japanese version, and now you do the new dub. How does it feel to play Sailor Mars?
So the question is, how does it feel to portray an iconic character like Sailor Mars? You know, if it had been in any other point in my career than it was when I first got cast in it, I think I would have been too intimidated. But I feel like at this point, it was very much the right time for something like that to happen. Because I've grown so much as an actor. And also I've had that pressure before with Homura Akemi. I felt it a lot. I felt a lot of pressure to be really good at it, especially because Chiwa Saito is such a genius when it comes to voiceover acting. So I guess I'm ready for these things to happen, and I think that's actually why it happened. So yeah, I'm really excited. I'm really happy with the work, and whenever I go in, I make sure I'm not, you know, everybody in the cast and the directors are putting everything they have into it, and so I hope you guys can see that and enjoy the stuff. Thank you. I'm also really happy that I'll be the first like consistent Mars all the way through, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like finish Sailor Stars and all that. Hopefully Crystal, passing fingers. Yes?
Okay, sorry, I don't mean to dominate question.
Oh, it's okay.
Sarabella in Skullgirls, she has kind of like a rough, like scratchy kind of voice to her.
Yes.
And I watch? Is that hard for you to like record that hour? Was that hard for you to record like hours on end with all these sound clips?
So Sarah Bell is a character in Skullgirls, and actually, when they told me they wanted me to sound like Buttercup from the Powerpuff Girls. And so that's my version of Buttercup, which sounds nothing like Buttercup, but was kind of a scratchy voice. The first time, because I recorded all the lines twice, because the first time she was maybe a little too happy, so we recorded it twice, and the second time I couldn't talk for 2 or 3 days. I'm like, that's it, I'm done. I will never voice act again. But it was worth it. I mean, now I can better control that. There are a lot of techniques you can do, especially warming up is really great for your voice. But when it comes to doing like that low raspy sound, it's not really that hard anymore because I've been doing it for so long now. But yeah, so the first time was fine. The second time, I guess I didn't warm up, so it really hurt. But nothing compares to the time when I did a Chun-Li fan dub. And I was supposed to go, yeah, like a lot of kicking sounds, and I recorded it too much, and I coughed up blood. But luckily I was really young, so I learned, because at that point I was like, that's it, I'm never going to be a voice actor. And actually, you guys know Erica Mendez, she's another guest here?
Yeah.
So she stepped in for this fan dub and did that one line that tore up my throat for me. Yeah, we've known each other for a long time. We live together now. So it's really fun to be cast and stuff. Like we just did a video game together, but I didn't know she was in it. And so I was like, oh hey, you're in it too. Yeah, cool. Because we can't talk about this stuff until, we see each other in the studio. So yeah, make sure you know how to take care of your voice. And coughing up blood is never good in any situation. Although it was a pretty cool fan dub. And if I could find it, I probably would share it with you guys. Yeah. Okay. Oh, you can't think of a question?
I think I just forgot.
Oh, you forgot? You want me to come back to you? Okay. Yes. My favorite video game character? This game hasn't come out yet. It's going to come out in March. It's called Final Fantasy Type 0. And I'm one of the Class 0 people who are at NSYNC. And she is like this she's like really airy, and everything is kind of funny and soft. And I actually recorded her at the same time I was recording Homer and Kemi, so it's been quite a while. But that game was just so beautiful and so exciting to be a part of it. And the ending made me cry so much. So I'm really looking forward to you guys seeing and playing Final Fantasy Type 0 when it comes out. And Noelle Vermillion is also really special to my heart. I love her so much, and I'm really happy that she keeps coming back in new games and stuff like that. So yeah, I think those are my two top. Even though it's hard to pick, those are my two favorite video game characters. Yeah. A person or a game? A person. Oh yeah. I've been to Australia a couple times, and the first time I went, Edward James Olmos was there, who is he plays Admiral Adama in Battlestar Galactica, and he's also just like, she was in Selena, which, being growing up Hispanic, he was a really big deal in our family. So to be able to eat lunch with him like every day for 2 weeks and just talk to him, and he was like one of my uncles. And so that made me really happy. It made my mom even happier. She's like, oh my gosh, I want to marry him when I was younger. Another cool moment was the second time I went to Australia, I got to eat with Carl Urban, who is Bones in the new Star Trek, and Judge Dredd, and he's super cute and hot. So that was also like another moment. Oh, and here's one more cool story, and then I'll stop with like the name dropping. But also in Australia, the kid from The Walking Dead was there the first time, Carl. His name is Chandler, and everybody else was a lot older than us, like Will Wheaton, all those guys. We actually related more, me and Christine related more with Chandler, because he was like closest to our age, so we hung out, and we went like, he was trying to teach us how to body surf in the Australian Ocean, which is like a crazy story, right? So that's fun. So those are my fangirl moments. Oh, I also met Carrie Fisher, and she was like, I was like, hi. She went like this. I was like, cool, she totally dissed me. Senpai noticed me. Yeah, so those are my fangirl moments. Yeah. Alright, yes.
Does it take you long to get into your character? Like, do you have to do, like, what kind of research and stuff do you do?
Sometimes you don't know who you're playing until you're actually getting the booth. In those cases, you just kind of find it when you're recording, but I was recently cast in a show as a deep, sexy villain, and I didn't audition for it. They just said, hey, you're going to be this sultry character, we hope you can do it. Can you do it? I was like, yeah, sure I can. So what I did for that one was I researched 2 actresses who I know who have similar voice types to me, but who have also performed sexy voices. Colleen Clinkenbeard in Ren, Daughters of Nemosity, I remember hearing that voice, and also Laura Bailey's Lust. So I went online and I researched them, and I was able to kind of hear how they did it and how they made it work. And so that's what I did for research for that particular character, and I was able to come up with a voice that worked for the character too. So, but yeah, if I know the show, I watched all of Fate Zero before playing my small role in that. If the show's available, I will watch it, usually, if they give me enough time. So that's the research I do. Yes, Mommy.
Speaking of shows you watch, are there any anime you haven't voiced but you watched this in your spare time, like or have you been in anime that started voicing?
Oh yeah.
Any shows you
Recently, I saw Attack on Titan, and then they asked me to audition for it too. So I actually got to read for Mikasa and Sasha and all those. And it was really fun. It was really an honor to be able to even audition for that show. When I was younger, I really loved Azumanga Daioh. There was a show called I Want to Be an Angel, which is really obscure and was never completely released in the US. I love DigiCarrot. These are all like early 90s shows. Utena was big for me too. I love Utena. Those are all shows that I watched as a fan and just enjoyed. Like I said, I love animation. Anime, Disney is really big on too. I'm still really big on Disney stuff. So. Alright, yes. Sure.
We have like an argument with our friend, and I want like to consider something.
Okay.
Do you or do you not believe that Cube is evil?
Do I or do I not believe Cube is evil? Alright, I think this is an unpopular opinion, but I respect Cube.
Thank you.
Because, okay, it kind of sucks that he has to collect human energy, but it's like his job, and he's trying to save the universe from entropy. So I don't believe he's evil. I mean, I don't like him. I would never be his friend or become a magical girl, but I think he's performing what he feels and his race feels is necessary.
Yes, I have a friend who's that's my friend, and he's like, no, he's just like, he's not evil. So now I can go back and be like, she said he's not evil.
Yeah, I mean, if he was doing it for fun, if he was like torturing magical girls for fun, that's evil. But doing it out of need and without even like a notion of what, he probably doesn't know what evil is. He's not human. So, yeah, that's my view on Cube. If I were to be in the redub of Azumanga Daioh, at this rate, given my history of characters with long black hair, I think I would be Sakaki. Which would be okay with me.
What would that sound like?
Sakaki? Oh, let's see. Oh, it's a cat. I want to pet it. I'm sorry, Rebellion? I don't know what I think about Rebellion yet. I've seen it. I need to watch it again to I'm sorry? Homura? What about it? Well, okay, so I saw the movie once, and I had no idea. I was like in shock when I left. I have no idea what to think of it. So I'm gonna wait until I see it a couple more times to decide what I feel. But mainly I felt like shocked, like in shock about what happened. You guys gotta watch it, it's really awesome. Yeah. Is there gonna be an English dub? I sure hope so. We dubbed the first 2 movies. So those are out. So let's cross fingers for Rebellion. Yeah. Yes.
Are there any older series that you hope that they redo because you'd like to know more enough?
You know, we were talking about this yesterday, and that it would be really great to bring over the original Power Rangers, like from Japan. I forgot what it's called. The Super Sentai one, like the first one, and dub that into English. I think that would be, there's a market for that, right? Like the original Power Rangers, that would be great. What else? Oh, Macross Frontier. As long as we can dub the songs, it would be awesome.
Are they blocked for
Something like that. It's like, there's like something going on like legally where they can't really get Macross over easily. So that's that. So I'm hoping for those 2. Yeah. So, yeah.
I feel so bad.
That's okay.
So being in an industry that's like so building in Japan, have you ever been there?
Have I ever been to Japan? I'm going for the first time in December. I'm excited. I'm going to buy so many things. We're going to Tokyo Disney as well. Yeah, we're going to bring like a separate bag, like folded up, put in our suitcase, just for all the stuff we're going to buy. We're going to go to Pokemon Center, buy Tsum Tsums, all that cool stuff. Yeah. All right. Yeah.
This is a very obscure question.
That's fine.
How do you feel towards the one that you like the most from? You played Saki in Art Medical Program and Ion LaSalle in Art Search.
Yes.
Which one do you like the most? The one that is in love with the robot or the other one?
So I played 2 main characters. I guess they're from the same series, Art and Alico.
It's a crossover.
It's like a crossover. So I played one in Art and Alico and then recently Arno Search. I'm really more happy with my performance in Arno Search because I have a lot more experience. When I first got Saki, that was like my first video game basically. So and I really liked Eon and her love of a robot. That was pretty sweet. Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
You ever go into the dealer's room and like see like the one you are and you kind of like, that's me.
Only when I'm with like my friends or my boyfriend. Like, hey, that's me. That's me too. Yeah, one time we went to GameStop and like we put all my games that I'm in like in a row. This is the Cristina section. One day I will buy them. Until that day, probably not. So yeah. Yes.
Do you have a favorite line that you got in video games or anything? Just a favorite line that you've always loved?
A favorite line? I don't know. I mean, I can't think of any right now. There's too much pressure. Do you have a favorite line?
I really like your nice little intro.
Oh, yeah, that was pretty cool. Yeah, that was pretty cool. The mantra she says with Jean, right? Yeah, that was awesome. David Vincent's a cool guy too. Yeah. Yes.
I really like the reveal of Magic Girls.
Yeah.
Happy Ranger, Chomp. She showed me that online and I'm just like, that is like the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Oh my gosh. Those are the tame bloopers too. Yes.
As a voice actor, do you feel that like sometimes you feel like fooling around and like just doing random voices of characters during the day for no reason? Like sometimes you will call someone and do, I don't know, like Sailor Mars voice and be like, who's this?
Oh, do I do like random voices?
Yeah.
All the time. I don't think I think about it. It just comes out.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's kind of a thing. It's more like a twitch, probably. Let's see, have I ever done it on purpose?
Yeah.
Gosh, you know what? If I think about it, like if I try to do a British accent or something, it sounds so fake when I'm like trying to fool somebody. So yeah, I do. I mean, my voice just switches like every 15 minutes or so. That's just what I'm. Yes.
Do you think you've improved a lot since you started?
Do I think I've improved a lot? Yes. I mean, and it's to be expected. I mean, my first roles were when I was 16 or 17 years old, and I was learning how to act and learning how to control my voice. And so I've done it for about 10 years, and I know that I've improved, and I hope that, you know, it's going to continue doing it. It's really like a lifelong journey and process. But I mean, I've never not put all my heart and soul into a role. So whether or not that's perceived as being a good performance or not is nothing I can concern myself about, because I know that at the age I was, at the point in my life I was at, I did the best that I could, and I put everything into it. So that's the way you really have to think about art, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And then kind of as an adjunct, do you ever look back and do you feel embarrassed by like a voice that you did in the past?
Do I ever feel embarrassed? Well, the thing is, I try not to watch older performances, because I don't feel like, I'm not in competition with all the other people who are in this field. I'm in competition with myself. So to listen to a performance like one of my first ones, I can hear it all, like oh my gosh, no, you know what I mean? So I try not to listen to it, but I also kind of give myself kind of like that, it's okay, you know, I was learning, I was, you know, younger, and I'm proud of myself for even having done that in the first place. So yeah, it's just kind of like respecting where I was at the time. Yeah, thank you. Yes?
Can you give some examples of where you watched something or were kind of interested in you on it?
Oh, a fan of,
Like something, was there anything that you like
really wanted to work on?
or like were a fan of?
Yeah, there were, oh my gosh, so many. I was a big fan of Guilty Gear, X2, and then I was working on BlazBlue, so that was pretty cool. Pokemon, I've worked on 3 series now. The first time it was like a dream come true. I got to fly to New York to do it. And then they did a dub in LA at Pokemon Origins, and like, hey Christina, can you be Cubone? He's like the main character in this one episode. I'm like, yes, I can be Cubone. I was also like helping him out. I was like, why is this knit around like pink and this one blue? I'm like, well, that's a male and a female, and you know, they probably should have different voices. Just things like that, like I was helping him out. My friend Christine was too. So Pokemon was a big one for me. Sailor Moon, of course, we've already covered that. What else? Oh, Bleach. Getting to be on Bleach at the last season was pretty amazing. Tonight's the last episode ever of Bleach, guys. Please watch it. It's kind of sad. So getting to be on Bleach was cool. Yeah. Oh, Maple Story was fun too. Ragnarok Online too. I loved the original one, Ragnarok Online. I used to play all throughout high school, like from dawn to dusk. And I'm in it too. So it's like really cool. So a bunch of things. It's really awesome.
Which was your favorite character from Ragnarok, the original?
The original Ragnarok, I used to play as a huntress. I like animals. I like birds and dogs. Yes?
Sorry, I have a question. I know this is magic related, but
yeah.
the voice, did you like doing your work on Kaon? I liked Kaon.
Kaon? Oh yeah, Kaon was great. Yeah, we got to like travel around the country and perform and sing too. That was really fun. I love Kaon. And that was actually an example of work that I got from my YouTube channel, because the president of Bandai liked my singing for Haruhi, the Haruhi dub I did. So he said, hey, ask Christina what character she wants to be in Kaon. That never happens, guys. And I was like, well, Mio. Please. I tried to play it cool, but I was like, oh, I would like to be the long black-haired one. I think I could really play that character well. And so I was like, oh my god, it's gonna be Mio! Yeah. It's a really good like business skill to have to be able to play cool. Like, yeah, I'm so cool. I don't care. And inside you're like, oh yeah! I can't wait to go home and tell everyone. Yes. I used to, have I ever cosplayed as a character or voice? I did cosplay as Sailor Mars. That was my last cosplay I did before I started getting a lot of roles. And that was before I was her. But that's pretty cool. And then I actually did the K-On cosplay, but that was kind of a professional thing. And I also played a character named Alyssa Boskanovich in Tekken Blood Vengeance. And they had me dress up as her, too. So it was fun. Yeah. I want to be Shantae. That'd be really cool. Yeah. Do you have a favorite character from Shantae? Shantae? She's cool. Roddy Tops is cool. Shantae's the best. I don't know why. And I especially like that she can change into a monkey. Yes?
Have you ever voiced a character that you just did not like?
Like an evil character? Or like I didn't want to be them? I don't know about that. Let's see, a character I don't like. I can't say that I have. There have been characters that are really hard to voice, but nothing that I don't like. You know what I mean? Yeah. And even if they're evil, you kind of learn to love that about them while you're them.
Evil ones are the most fun.
Yeah, evil is really fun. Yeah. Yes, 1, 2.
Have you watched the new Sailor Moon Crystal, and what do you think of it?
I haven't seen it all. I'm actually waiting for it to all be finished because I like watching things from front to end.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to it. I'm especially looking forward to like the Blu-ray release where they kind of fix all the silly animation mistakes. But so far I think it's good. It follows the manga like panel for panel, so that's pretty awesome. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to it. And yes.
When characters like Homura have a really emotional story arc to go through per episode, were there ever days in recording it where you just had to like think how to like get out of that like sad state, or you like really good at separating yourself from like
I don't remember, but it was a lot of sad times during Madoka because it's so sad. And my best friend played Madoka too, so there are some scenes where we were legitimately crying, and she was too because things happened. It was like it was happening to her. I honestly don't remember how I felt after the sessions, especially since I was, I would go record Madoka, go upstairs to the other studio and record Final Fantasy. So those are pretty much how your days are. It's like you have to switch on and off. Otherwise, like you'd be like insane. Especially with a show like Madoka. But yeah, definitely when we're in the booth, it's all, we leave everything there. We try to. Yeah. I guess the original series, but it was really a long time ago. I like Victoria. But I really don't remember anything that happened in that show, except that I really liked her and her accent. So, yeah. That was my favorite from that scene. Yeah.
What do you think was one of the hardest roles you've done and why?
Hardest roles? Oh my gosh. I think probably Homura. It's pretty hard. Kanaria from Rose and Maiden was hard for some reason too. But yeah, Homura was the hardest because we spent so much time in that booth and just getting to that emotional place every day was pretty interesting. So, yeah. Yes.
How many times do you have to redo a line recording session before you do it,
Oh, that depends on the show. Like for Madoka, we did a lot. We took a lot of takes. And other shows, it's like 1 or 2 takes and you're done. So really, I think it depends on the show, on the director, and maybe the actor sometimes. But usually we try to get it done in 1 or 2 takes. Thanks. Yes?
In Skullgirls, do you have a favorite character?
In Skullgirls, I really like Aeon. I thought she would have been a really cool addition. And Venus. Those are all like characters that aren't out, I guess, but they were like the DLC candidates. I guess out of the ones who are in the game, Valentine's pretty cool. Yeah. Thanks. Yes?
How was it voice acting Mio from K-On?
Mio? My favorite part about voice acting in K-On was, we're all friends. It was actually actually a really easy show. Like, we flew through that show because we were the characters. Like, everybody was cast as just like the characters. Except for Stephanie Shea, who's actually really smart and grounded, unlike you, who's not. But yeah, it was really fun. The best part was traveling around and singing the songs at conventions with everybody. Yeah, I love it. Thank you.
Are you ever given freedom to decide how the character will sound, or is it usually someone telling you this is what we want you to make?
Well, when we audition, we kind of create our own voice. So usually they use that. You know what I mean? Some are more free than others. Like, especially in video games and anime, it's more strict. You have to sound this way. Video games, you can play a little bit more. So, yeah. So that's always fun. That's probably my favorite part about video games, actually. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Mikasa in Attack on Titan.
You auditioned for that?
I did audition for that. It was so cool. What else? I also really wanted Marie Rose in Dead or Alive. I auditioned for her. My best friend got it, which is like, yay! So happy for you. It's kind of like those weird things about, being in the same field with other people that you know and that you love. You're like, I'm happy for you at the same time. Damn it! But there are a lot of roles that you really want but don't get. Let's see. Those are the two big ones that are coming to mind right now. Thank you. Yes. I have figures. I usually buy figures of my characters. I don't know what's going on over there. I don't have a complete collection of all my games because it's so expensive. It would cost me like $3,000 to buy all the games that I'm in right now. So I'm just like buying them little by little. So that's what I'm hoping. I'm going to have a full set one day. Yes?
They don't just give you it since you're whole set?
They don't just give it. No, sometimes they do. What did I get? I got a Fairy Fencer Pippin hat for free from those guys. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. It really just depends on the company. Yeah, that would be nice though. Yes?
Totally agree to say no. I was wondering if you could give us a preview of either one of Ray's transformation calls or her attacks.
Oh, Race? Okay. I mean, I can do it now because it's out and it was on Hulu. Okay, I'll do it. Mars Power Make Up! Yeah, the only other attack we've gotten to is Fire! Soul! It's so fun! I love that she like does those chants too, and it's really fun to be able to chant. That's awesome. Yes.
For BlazBlue,
Yes.
voice acting game, which character were you in chance?
In BlazBlue, I'm Noelle and Nu and Moo and Lambda. And Saya. I was Saya in the first game, and then I think they forgot that she is the same person as Noelle.
The Squirrel Girl.
Squirrel Girl, Makoto.
Yeah.
Julianne Taylor, I believe, is Makoto.
I see.
I think so. I think it's her. I might be wrong. I don't get to see the other actors because we all record alone, but I think it's her. She sounds adorable. Yeah. And I saw your hand.
You mentioned that you were a fan of the series, or at least I think you said X too.
Yeah.
If you could have, because unfortunately there's no English to ask except for poetry. Who would you have wanted to voice it on?
I would have wanted to be Eno and Disney. Yeah, that would have been fun. That would have been awesome. Yeah.
When you do audition for something, and let's say, you're just not right for the part, how do you deal with the rejection?
How do I deal with rejection? Ooh, that's a good question. That's just the life of an actor, you know what I mean? The one thing that helps too is not getting married to a part until you know it's yours. And it's all about having like a positive attitude, really. So, that's how you do it. And I'm not saying it isn't hard sometimes, because I know if I didn't get in Sailor Moon, I would have been so bummed out. But that's just part of the job, you know what I mean? And you have to have like your friends and your family who are really supportive and have like hobbies and pets, and it really helps. Thank you. Yes? Yes. For Ribbon and League of Legends?
Yes.
So that was actually just one section, and I recorded at Bang Zoom because that's where they record that game. And they were really awesome and fun. And you know, a couple of years later, I got to visit the Riot headquarters in Santa Monica, and they have a ribbon-themed bathroom, which is pretty cool to know that one of my characters has her own bathroom. Yeah, that was another great experience because I got to go host for IGN and stuff, and it was really fun. I love her. Yeah, I hope I can do more League stuff soon. Thank you. Yes?
Have you ever had any unpleasant experiences with the recording sessions and the places?
Ooh, unpleasant? I mean, I can't really talk about it in detail, but I will say that the people that you work with when you're doing voiceover acting are sweet and grounded people, and it's just like a really big community. That being said, there was this one person I worked with who is kind of notorious for not being so nice. But that's all I say. Like it's so that you guys would know more of the games that he's done. You wouldn't know probably. But I mean, it stands out because it's such an oddity because everybody is so sweet and accepting of who you are as a person. You know what I mean? And really, you can't find a better group of people than in voiceover acting. Yeah. Thank you. Yes.
A lot of voice actors have said that sometimes when you go and do sort of voiceover work, they say that sometimes they find it as comforting, almost like therapy, because you know the stress of the day, and then sometimes you go through the voice of a character and then you're like, I needed that.
Yeah. For me too, I've never been like a really social person. I'm very introverted, as you can tell. I bring a book with me everywhere I go. And for me, I'm really the most happiest when I'm working and recording. Maybe that makes me a workaholic, maybe not, but there's just something about knowing where you belong, and for me, it's behind the mic, recording with these characters and being with them. They're like my friends, you know what I mean? So for me, it's very comforting, and I will say that voice acting has really saved my life a few times, so yeah, so I really love it. Yes?
So you'd say it's not like a stressful occupation?
The only thing stressful about it is, you know, you can't be working all the time, you can't be cast all the time, so there are some times where, like this year I actually I was still working, but I wasn't getting cast in the auditions that I was sending out, and I was like, oh my gosh, what's happened? Do I suddenly suck? But no, it's not that, it's just, that's just the way it is, you know, you have to, it's kind of like a big cycle that everybody takes their turn in the run, and then you'll see that more and more. So that's the only stressful part, is sometimes you're not sure where your next job or meal is going to come from. But as for the work itself, it's not stressful for me at all. If that makes sense. Yeah. So thank you. Yes?
Usually when voice actors go in and do audition, how often do you have just like someone on a project just call you and say, we want you to do this?
That's a good point. I mean, that won't happen if you're a new person, but if you've been working with people for a long time, they will be like, hey, you seem really great for this role, we're just going to cast you in it because we don't have time to audition. So that happens sometimes. Other times, I will say, I can't talk about what I was working on, but I worked at Funimation, and I sent them my demo reel, and they said, hey, you know what, we're bringing you for this project, but a few of the other directors want to cast you in their shows. And so I got to be on, so you guys will hear me in Funimation show soon, and I'm really excited. Yes! But I say, like, that's not really, you should be expecting when you're doing voiceover, because that only comes from, like, a place of, like, deep trust that you have to build over the years, that they will cast you in a role that they know you can do. Yeah, that's really nice when it happens. It's really nice. That's that's how I actually got BlazBlue. I did an audition. They just said, Cristina can do this. Cristina has like a big range of characters she can do. Let's cast her in this role. Yeah. Yes.
Do you ever see yourself doing anything outside of anime and video games?
Oh yeah, well my dream, my big goal is to work in more original animation. I think I might have peed my pants. That was really scary.
What did it say? 5 minutes.
5-minute warning. See, only 5 minutes. I'm sorry. Your question like went away. Oh, if I can do anything other than anime and video games. Oh yeah, my goal is to do original animation. I want to work on Disney shows. I have been lucky to do some original animation. Do you guys like La La Loopsy?
My cousin does? Does that count?
What?
My cousin does.
Oh yeah, that counts.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've done some of that, but that's like the big goal. Video games, I'm never going to do any video games or anime, but I definitely want to do more of that, higher tier stuff. Well, not higher tier, but like, there's like different circles. Like you'll see like the original animation people and then like the anime people, you know what I mean? And I want to be able to do both. So that's my goal, that's my big, that's what I'm working towards. Yes?
I guess the last question I would have is, any advice for anybody who's either trying to take this voice acting career or voice acting in general?
Anybody who's trying to be voice acting. Okay, so there's actually a two-part question. I won't go into the first part because there's like this whole like spiritual journey you have to do in order to know what your calling in life is. You know what I mean? But if you've been through that and you know you need to be a voice actor, first off, you probably can't live here in Nebraska because there's no studios here. You need to go to LA or, you can try your luck in Texas, but if you don't get in with the Funimation people, then there's not really a whole lot of other things going on. All you can do film acting there, actually, or New York. So you need to move to where the work is at, take workshops, and really be kind to everybody. Because, if you're kind and humble, then people will remember that about you. Everybody wants to work with nice people. Everybody wants to work with those. Not that I'm saying that you will have a problem with that, but just clarifying. But yeah, just be nice, be positive, and always just keep working to making yourself better as a person and as an actor. And it really is about persistence. And I've seen it happen for a lot of people too, who have come with the dream to be a voice actor and have made it. And that's after they know that that's what they need to be doing. So, and what else do you want to, if you know you're supposed to be doing something in life, what else are you going to be doing? Not doing it. So yeah, it just takes a lot of hard work and persistence, and that's what I would recommend. Thank you so much. All right, so, it's still hard talking in front of a large crowd of people, being like the introvert. I'm probably gonna like fall asleep for 3 hours after this. But I have some autographs coming up soon, and I'll take your last question.
No, would you mind sending a couple autographs in this panel?
Oh, well, I probably can't because they want to clear the room for the next panel. But I'll be at my autograph session, I think, in an hour and a half from now, whatever time that is. That's just what I was told. And so I hope to see you all there. Thank you so much for coming, guys. Thank you.